What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I would like to discuss this article called My Brush with the Black Manosphere. It was written by a young lady by the name of Nicole Young, and she talks about some of the research she's done on the community. Quite impressive for some of the people that she mentions here in the article. I'll let you read it for yourself to figure out who she talks about. Some bigger people, some that are smaller. But she ended up doing an interview with Obsidian Media Network. Now, I have not seen that interview. He did tell me about the article, and I am going to respond to it. But it was pretty much talking about certain people like Mad Bus Driver X, who's not a part of the Black Manosphere, but talks about how black men are better off dealing with non-black women. There's the Moynihan Report, and this kind of ideology that black people need to return to, with black men leading the homes, and obviously black feminists would have a somewhat of an issue with that. But I just kind of want to talk about the whole idea in particular and talking to black feminists. And I'm going to come out and I'm going to have somewhat of a disagreement, or maybe Obsidian or Kevin Samuels. And my question is this: for people who feel very differently than we do in Black America, and I mean, and I would equate this as, let's say, for example, we were to go to a Ku Klux Klan rally. Now, obviously, it's not the same thing, but it's similar. Do we expect that we are going to change their minds on how they see us? Or vice versa? I don't think so. I think that it's a waste of conversation. And I think that when we deal with self-proclaimed black feminists who look at the black community in a certain ilk, I don't know what can happen from that conversation that will be beneficial. It's almost like you feel the way that you feel. It's nice to see you. Why am I talking to you? And that is that. Now, Obsidian, he's a little bit of he's a different guy than me. He likes to take on debates and welcome all challengers and things like that, open for discussion. And I am, to a certain degree, like that also. But this is an interview that I would have turned down. Because when you look at the article and you read it, it definitely looks like she doesn't understand fully what this community is about. She is kind of pot-shotting here and, looking at, certain elements of guys who are not even in the space, throwing them in the mix, purposely trying to make guys look bad, like Mr. Palmer. I mean, I wouldn't really say he's a part of the Black Manosphere. He's a guy that is associated, but he's not a Black Manosphere guy. And then, trying to make Kevin Samuels look out to be, a person who berates black women on the show, I guess a daily thing. This is taken out of context, and this is what you're going to get. The person that's going to be writing this article is not going to give a fair shake. Like, the Black Manosphere tends to be more fair and balanced than people want to give it credit for. It's not like, we're just holding black women accountable. A lot of black men are held accountable over here on certain things. And when you look at somebody who just wants to prove a point, they're going to throw things in here to make it look as, this is this misogynist hate kind of group. And you know that you're not going to get a fair shake with dealing with people like them. So we can agree to disagree. You continue living, you living your feminist life. And let's move the ball forward, and let's just see whose ideology will work in the black community. I mean, I think it's clear as day to see that what black feminists wanted and what has evolved 50 years ago what it has led our community down this path. And you can talk about the Moynihan Report all you want. And she mentioned that it's antiquated, it's 60 years old. Okay, let's look at the people in America right now who are living a lifestyle similar to the Moynihan Report today. We can look at Nigerian Americans. We can look at Chinese Americans. We can look at Jewish Americans. We can look at anybody who lives close to that antiquated report in the 1960s, and they're doing far much better than we are. I don't care how much feminists you want. It's not up for debate. The numbers prove that this is true. And for those people who want to see things as they are, as the Black community continues to crumble, and women continue to be more unhappier with their situations, then live the life. If you like it, I love it. Why are we even talking? And I think that people like this, we don't need to be talking to or talking about. Because number one, you're never going to get a fair shake. And there's no reasoning in this. Now, obviously, I wouldn't say this is as harsh as something like Cynthia G. Okay? And she's definitely more educated in what she's trying to explain. I'll give her that. But nothing will come out of women who feel like her. Okay? She's still a part of the Black community. She's still an African American, and that's great. But if you're a conservative thinking Black person, and a person is a liberal thinking feminist, it could be a male or a woman, it's a waste of your time. It's a waste of one's effort. And I believe we should be like the Bible says, let the dust hit our feet, and we need to get up out of there. We need to stop talking to people that we have nothing in common with. Okay? It really is just that simple. It just opens the door to get painted with a bad brush by people who don't understand the community, by people who don't want to point out the fact that guys like Kevin Samuels, get women married. Like Nicole, Inner Beauty Nicole Michelle, she got married from this community. It's not gonna show those things. You're always gonna get painted as some sort of hate group, when it's not necessarily. That's not the truth. It isn't. So people who don't agree with you philosophically, you understand it and I don't understand it, and I understand that, then okay, you go over there, I go over here. It's better that way. Black feminists and those on the left, and there still are people, I love them. They should be allowed to have their own communities of people who want to think like them, and then respect the fact that you have other people who think differently than you. Because when you want to look for women who are saying these negative things about Black men, there's nobody writing articles on this. There's certainly, it's always going to be met with a lot of frustration. So to avoid that, I avoid the conversations with them completely, because we're never going to see it the same way. And so since we're not going to see it the same way, let's just see who ideologies play out in real time. We as Black men, and as my thought, like this, men provide for women, men provide for their communities. Black men and Black women need to have healthy relationships with one another, with Black men leading households. Anybody who has a problem with that, don't talk to me. Simple as that. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity John. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top, and as you know, the buffoonery remains the all-time high. I'm out.